A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams. Tennessee Williams was born in Columbus, Mississippi in 1911. The name given to him at birth was Thomas Lanier Williams III. He did not acquire the nickname Tennessee until college, when classmates began calling him that in honor of his southern accent and his father's home state. Williams worked at the shoe factory for 3 years, a job that culminated in a mirror nervous breakdown. After that, he returned to college, this time at Washington University in St. Louis. These classics were instrumental in making Tennessee Williams one of the best playwrights of the modern times, and they continue to be the audience favorites. Williams wrote 29 major plays during his lifetime, as well as 9 apprentice plays. A Streetcar Named Desire, play in 3 acts by Tennessee Williams, first produced and published in 1947 and winner of the Pulitzer Prize for Drama for that year. One of the most admired plays of his time. It concerns the mental and moral disintegration and ultimate ruin of Blanche Dubious, a former Southern belle. Now let us look at the synopsis of the play.
The synopsis of the play, A Streetcar Named Desire. The play takes place right after World War II in New Orleans, Louisiana. The novel begins with a conversation between Stanley Kowalski and Stella Kowalski. Both of them are husband and wife. The Kowalski apartment is poor, but they have a charming neighborhood in the French Quarter. Stella, as it is in the novel, is 25 years old and pregnant, lives with her husband Stanley Kowalski. Now the next character is introduced, Blanche Dubois, who is a sister of Stella, who arrives unexpectedly carrying all that she wants. When she arrives, both her sister and brother-in-law are not there. After some time, Blanche and Stella have a warm reunion after a long time. But Blanche has brought some bad news. Belle-Reve, the family mansion, has been lost. Blanche had stayed behind to care for their dying family when Stella left to make a new life for herself, and Blanche is clearly resentful by her sister's abandonment of the family. At that point of time, Blanche meets her sister's husband Stanley for the first time, and immediately Blanche feels very uncomfortable. We learn that Blanche was once married when she was very young, but her husband died, leaving her widowed and alone. Stanley initially distrusts Blanche, thinking that she has cheated Stella out of her share of Belle-Reve, but Stanley soon realizes that Blanche is not the swindling type. Blanche, the sister, in no way cannot adjust with the brother-in-law Stanley. One night during a poker game, Stanley gets too drunk and beats Stella. The women go to their upstairs neighbor's apartment, but soon Stella returns to Stanley. Blanche is unable to understand Stella and Stanley's powerful, destructive physical relationship. That night, she meets Mitch, another character who is introduced, who is a friend of Stanley, and soon Blanche feels very much attracted towards Mitch. Mitch is very much attached to his mother also very much. The next day, Stanley overhears Blanche saying terrible things about Stanley, and he cannot accept Blanche no more in the house. From that time on, Stanley devotes himself fully to Blanche's destruction. During the last days of Belle Reve, after the mansion was lost, Blanche was exceptionally lonely and turned to strangers for comfort. She had lost her good name and leading to the loss of her job as a high school teacher and her near expulsion from the town. She was even accused of illegal relationship with many men. Soon we see tensions being built in the apartment throughout the summer. Blanche and Stanley see each other as enemies, and Blanche turns increasingly to alcohol for comfort. Stanley meanwhile investigates Blanche's past and he passes information about her sexual dalliances on to Mitch. When Mitch, the lover, hears from Stanley about the past life of Blanche, he is shocked. Although Blanche and Mitch had been on track to marry, when Mitch learns the truth, he loses all interest in her. On Blanche's birthday, Mitch stands her up, abandoning her for good. Stanley, meanwhile, cautiously presents Blanche with a birthday gift, and it was the best ticket back to Laurel. Blanche is overcome by sickness. She cannot return to Laurel, and Stanley knows that. As Blanche is ill in the bathroom, Stella fights with Stanley over the cruelty of his act. In the middle of the fight, Stella tells him to take her to the hospital because the baby is coming. That night, Blanche packs and drinks. Hours later, Stanley comes home to get some sleep while Stella's labor continues. Blanche further antagonizes Stanley, destroying the good humor, and he responds by mercilessly destroying Blanche's illusions one by one until finally he rapes her. That is the crucial moment of the story, as Blanche is raped by her brother-in-law Stanley Kowalski. Weeks later, another poker game is being held at the Kowalski apartment. Blanche, in the meantime, has suffered a mental breakdown. She has told Stella about Stanley's assault, but Stella has convinced herself that it cannot be true. A doctor and nurse come and take Blanche away to the asylum. The other men continue their poker game as if nothing has happened.
As we have seen the synopsis of the play, A Streetcar Named Desire, now let us look at some of the major themes in the novel. Sexual desire, the exclusion of the sexual outcast, disintegration of family and patriarchal values, surviving conflict, psychological conflict, domestic violence, the reliability on illusion. Thus, we can say, A Streetcar Named Desire revolves around female characters. Despite this, there are also other important elements in his plays such as symbolism, reality, expressionism, abjection, identity, victimization of women, rape, conflict between society and individual, love and death, madness, sexuality, political dissentment, homosexuality, homophobia, and tragic tradition. Thank you.